Scopophobia is the fear of being watched. Most people feel it for a second and then just brush it off. These 6 people could not. In March 2020, a young woman living in South Florida installed a Ring camera outside her bedroom window. Her mother had suggested it. She had thought her mother was being paranoid. The fear of being watched is one of the oldest instincts we carry. It sits at the back of the neck, and it fires before the conscious mind has caught up. The cruel thing about this first story is that the instinct never got the chance to fire. There was no prickle on the skin, no reason to turn around. The only witness was the camera she almost talked herself out of buying. She got home at 11:10 p.m. on the night of March 8th. A man appeared outside her bedroom window at 11:11. 1 minute. He was not passing by. He was not wandering. He was timing her. He knew when she left, when she came back, and how long it took for the lights to go on. A figure that moves through a frame is going somewhere, and the eye lets it pass. A figure that stops, turns, and faces the glass you sleep behind is there for only one reason. That is the detail the footage holds on to. He does not pace. He does not glance around to check the street. He stands still in the dark and looks at the window, and the longer he stays still, the worse it becomes to watch. She and her mother called the police. Officers came to the door, took a report, and advised her to keep her blinds closed. That was the extent of it. So the family set up a homemade rope trap between the trees and repositioned the camera closer to the window. He came back. She posted the footage in June 2021. Within days, it had been shared millions of times. The caption she wrote underneath it read, "This is literally how women die, because nobody listens to us, and we are constantly in danger." The man was never identified. He was never caught. The camera is still the only reason she ever even knew he was there. That is the part that lingers. Home is the one place the body is allowed to switch the alarm off, and the bedroom window is the last thin layer between you and everyone else. She had installed the one thing that could see in the dark, and all it ever gave her was proof that something had already been looking back. That was a stranger watching from outside. The next one followed his target across an entire city, and the cameras tracked everything he did, while she had no idea. On the night of June 26, 2022, Zara Alina was walking home through Ilford in East London. She was 35 years old, a law graduate who had just started working at the Royal Courts of Justice. The walk was less than 10 minutes. She had done it before. Jordan McSweeney had been out of prison for 9 days. He had 28 prior convictions for 69 separate offenses. A recall order had already been authorized to put him back in custody. Nobody had acted on it yet. So, on the night he went out hunting, he was a man the system already knew it wanted off the street, walking free and choosing. Before he reached Zara, the CCTV captured him following at least 2 other women through those same streets. One walked into a shop, one crossed the road. Each of them made a small unconscious decision that saved her life, and none of them knew, in that moment, how close she had come. This is the footage that gives fear its shape. The police added arrows to it, yellow and blue, tracking each figure across the tarmac, and those arrows do something the women themselves could never do. They draw his line of attention onto the picture. You are no longer just watching a quiet street at night. You are watching a man settle on a person, and you are seeing it from the vantage point not one of his targets had. At 2:17 in the morning, he attacked Zara Alina on Cranbrook Road. The assault lasted 9 minutes. She suffered 46 injuries. She was found by neighbors, brought to hospital, and died from her injuries. The day after killing her, McSweeney walked through a children's fairground in the same vest he had worn during the attack.
McSweeney. Jordan. Jordan McSweeney.
Cups on, yeah.
Can you stand up for us, mate?
Just tell him.
You're under arrest for rape and murder of a female at Cranbrook Road, okay, on the 26th of June 2022 in the early hours of the morning. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? Right, stand up for us then, mate. Stand up.
A sentence of 4 years concurrent is imposed for sexual assault. The sentence for the brutal, sexually motivated murder of Zara Alina is imprisonment for life. The defendant will serve 38 years as the minimum term.
He was sentenced to life with a minimum of 38 years. The Court of Appeal later reduced it to 33. He refused to attend the sentencing. The arrows are the part that stays with you. They show you exactly what she could not see. A man fixed on her, moving when she moved, closing when she slowed. Scopophobia is usually a feeling with no evidence behind it, a sense you can never quite prove. Here, the evidence is drawn directly onto the picture, and you realize the watching was real the entire time, even on the nights the other women walked home and never learned how close it had come. Every woman in that CCTV was being watched before she knew it. The next one figured it out in time, on a busy road in Pennsylvania, and she had about 30 seconds to decide what to do. Ariana McMillan was 16 years old and walking along a road in Folsom, Pennsylvania, a suburb outside Philadelphia, when she became aware of a man behind her. She heard him first, and then he was closer. Then he was saying things. This is the sensation every other victim in this video was denied. The oldest warning system in the human body is the feeling of eyes on the back of the neck, the prickle that tells you to turn around. For most of our history, it was the thin line between being prey and getting home alive. Ariana felt it fire, and the thing that saved her is that she did not talk herself out of it. He had a large bottle of liquor in his hand. She later told reporters she saw it as a weapon. Then, he pushed her. She said later, "In this moment, I had a sense of panic in my brain that I needed to do something immediately." Ahead of her was a shop with a woman standing outside. She had seen a sign nearby with the name Rachel on it. She ran toward the woman and called out, Aunt Rachel, is that you?" The shop owner, Tina Moss, had never met her. She understood instantly. She returned the hug, brought her inside, and closed the door. He followed her to the shop. He banged on the glass. He would not stop even as police arrived and tried to arrest him. He was charged with stalking and harassment. Police said she did everything right. The fear she felt in those 30 seconds, the footsteps that did not fall away, the slow understanding that the person behind her was not going anywhere except wherever she went. That is scopophobia in its real, most immediate form. The watched person who knows, in real time, that she has been chosen and has a single moment to act on it. She turned a stranger into an aunt and a doorway into a wall. Almost no one else in this video was given that chance. She got away because she felt him coming. The next woman was followed home through a whole city at night by someone she had every reason to trust, and she never once turned around. On the night of September 21st, 2019, Cristina Ortiz Lozano was 28 years old and walking home through Southampton with a man she had met on a date. Abdelaziz El Echioy Orzat, her ex-boyfriend, had seen them together. He followed them from the bar. There is a particular kind of dread in being watched by someone who already knows you. A stranger has to find you first. A person you once let close does not. He already knows your name, your street, the door you'll walk to at the end of the night. He did not have to search for her. He only had to wait, and then follow. And the footage shows a man who is in no rush at all. The CCTV caught him on camera to camera across the city. He was already waiting outside her home when she arrived.
She let herself in. He followed her inside to the kitchen. A post-mortem found 23 stab wounds. Officers were called at 9:50 p.m. He denied murder. On February 18, 2021, a jury at Winchester Crown Court convicted him. On March 17, 2021, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 19 years. The footage shows him pausing at a shop front while she walks ahead, standing very still for a moment, then resuming in the exact direction she went. One camera after another, the same patient movement. She never looked back once. The whole time, the eyes on her were already familiar with everything about her, and that was what makes the stillness in the footage so hard to sit through. He was never in a hurry, because he already knew exactly where she was going to end up. That CCTV showed a man watching from the street. The next one showed a man watching through glass, at a window, in the dark, while the girl on the other side was asleep. On the night of August 7, 2016, a 17-year-old girl in Arvada, Colorado, was asleep in her bedroom. Her father had installed a home security camera covering the side passage of the house. She did not know what it had captured until her father reviewed the footage the next morning. He crouched there and looked in through the window of a sleeping teenager. The clip ends before he leaves. The viewer never sees him go. Police released the footage on the Arvada Police Department Facebook page. The public identified him within 24 hours. His name was Garrett Brown. He was 36 years old. He lived a few doors down the street. He was charged with attempted first-degree criminal trespass of a dwelling and criminal attempt invasion of privacy for sexual gratification. The family had no idea he was out there. There was no sense of being watched, no instinct that fired, no moment of realization. Just a camera in a side passage, reviewed the morning after, showing a man crouched at their daughter's window in the dark. That is the specific horror of this one. Every other story in this video has a moment where fear arrives. Here, there is none. The watching happened completely without the watched person's knowledge. She slept through the entire thing. The instinct that saved the girl in Pennsylvania, that prickle in the back of the neck, never had anything to fire on, because nothing reached her senses at all. The fear in this clip is not hers. It belongs to you, watching it the next day, knowing that the man who lived a few doors down had been at the glass, and that the only thing between her and him was a pain she never knew was being studied. Every story so far has ended before the attack. The last one did not, and the camera tracked the entire approach. At 5:59 in the morning on January 2nd, 2019, a 19-year-old Italian woman was crossing Plymouth City Center alone, pulling a small pink wheeled suitcase behind her. She had just come back from a Christmas trip to Italy. She was making her way home. Peter Hills was 25 years old. He was already in the same transport interchange as her when she arrived. He followed her into a secluded area just off the last camera. He held a large kitchen knife inches from her chest. He told her he had to kill her. She survived. He was convicted at Plymouth Crown Court of false imprisonment, possession of a bladed article, and making threats to kill. The CCTV covers the entire route. Camera after camera, the same two figures, the festive lights and the empty streets and the pink suitcase moving through a city that was supposed to be safe. There's a strange comfort we take from a place full of cameras. We assume that being seen is the same as being protected, that someone on the other end of the lens is watching the screens and ready to step in. The Plymouth footage takes that comfort apart, frame by frame. The camera saw everything that was happening to her. They followed her turn by turn across the whole study, and not one of them could reach out and stop it. They only proved, afterward, that it had happened exactly the way it looked like it was happening. That is the cruelest version of this fear. Not being watched by someone you can see. Being hunted by someone you never once noticed across an entire city, in full view of every camera in it, while each one watched and did nothing, because watching was the only thing it could do.